It's alarming when even Shinx's divine intervention has no effect on Nintendo to show games that they literally premiered to us beforehand. Every day, we stray further from God. God being Shinx in this case. I figured that one was obvious. Okay. What is going on, y'all? Soul here, and welcome back to my story mode. So if you've read the title of this video, you'll see that this is clearly going to be a little bit of a sadder video. More a little on the upset side. I can't even sit here and lie to you. But as per usual, before we get into the nitty gritty, there's a couple of things that I kind of want to mention. So if you want to skip ahead to all the good stuff, like usual, all timestamps are right down below for you, so you can click on ahead. For starters, let's just talk about E3 for a minute, because honestly, E3 this year was overall pretty mid. Now, I'm sure that we all know by now that in actuality, E3 is not a competition. However, it's very funny because every single year, we never fail to treat it like one. Saying things like Nintendo won E3 or Sony or PlayStation or Microsoft or the PC show won E3 means that you saw it as a competition in the first place and that there was actually something to win. The only thing that they can actually win from us is more of our respect, maybe. I don't know. Because 99% of the time, they're gonna end up getting our money anyway, so really, there is no winner or loser, just who had the better E3. However, for the past couple of years, it hasn't really been much of a competition because Nintendo has always taken the crown, and this year is absolutely no different. We already usually have high expectations from Nintendo because they already have so much going for them based on how many games they announced before E3 even happened. Bayonetta, Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 3, and frankly, as long as there's still a spot on the Fighters Pass in Smash, it's not hard for them to generate hype at all. It's literally that easy for them. But personally, aside from all that, I think they did an amazing job with their presentation this year. Now, I personally don't know that much about Kazuya as a character, but I've believed for a very long time that Tekken has absolutely deserved and needed some kind of representation in Smash. And now that we finally have it, I can't complain. He looks awesome as hell. Weirdly enough, one of the most exciting presentations for me was Metroid Dread. I have never played a Metroid game before, but you know damn well I'm about to hop in very soon, because I am not going into that game completely blind. I want to have an idea of the story and what the hell's going on, so you already know that's a day one cop. And as mildly expected, they showed us a smidgen of Breath of the Wild 2, which I made very clear that I was super excited about, and I'm very glad that they gave us something. It wasn't a lot, but it was definitely something, and we needed that something after almost 2 years. It's absolutely looking good, and I'm just really glad that development's going well. Take as long as you need, guys. And take breaks too, please. But anyhow, that's pretty much all I have to say about my general thoughts regarding Nintendo's portion of E3. There's a lot that I still want to cover and talk about regarding other games that were announced, but this is not the time or place to really delve into that. We will most definitely be saving that topic for another day. So anyhow, that just about covers it for all the extra stuff that I wanted to talk about. So why don't we start diving into the main point of the video? Why was there no Pokemon BDSP or Legends at E3 this year? First, we're gonna do a little bit of a recap here to find out what the hell happened and where everything went wrong. For starters, let's acknowledge the fact that we got the announcements for these games in February. This video you're watching currently is coming out in the midst of June, meaning that at this point in time for me, we got the announcements for these games about 4 months ago. Now, under normal circumstances, that's absolutely fine. I'm in no rush to get news on such brand new announcements. Hell, we didn't get a lick of news on Breath of the Wild for like 2 years damn near. Aside from COVID, that's kind of a long time for development, so at the very least, we were desperate for a look at it, but now that we have it, we're a little satisfied. Game development takes a very long time, and I'm in no rush to get some kind of crappy rushed game or anything like that. We just like to get a look at how development is going so we know what to look forward to. We like trailers, we like to get an idea of what we're getting into and what we're paying for. So again, under normal circumstances, 4 months is absolutely no time whatsoever. That's not a big deal. However, there's two problems with that when it comes to Pokemon. One, Pokemon is a yearly releasing series with new things coming out all the time, especially in the games department, unfortunately. They have made it very clear that 9 times out of 10, they're gonna have something for us that year. We may not exactly know what it is every single time, but we're gonna get something that year. So, fine, you guys have made your mark, this is what we expect now. The second big dilemma is obviously the fact that they announced the release dates for both of these games. And we only got these announcements about 2 to 3 weeks ago. And this is another unusual case for regular games, because in most cases, we know what the actual general deal is with the games, or at least have more than about 3 to 4 minutes of gameplay before we get a release date. Having a release date gives us the idea that the game is very close to finished or basically finished. So, considering the circumstances of getting those release dates only a couple of months after even revealing the games with nothing in between, the majority of us were fairly alarmed. For one, we have no idea what kind of changes are coming to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl that's gonna make that $60 port even worth it. And then we have Game Freak's baby's first open world game with frame rate issues and very open plains with nothing in it, with generally no real hints or clues to the story at all. So now looking back on those release dates, all of us are all thinking the same thing. These games are close to finished? I've already talked in depth about my opinions on the release dates. If you want to go see that video, I'll put the card or tag or whatever in the corner up there. But we only have about half a year before both of these games release, about only a full month apart. Again, the remakes, not a lot of people are concerned about other than the actual content, but as far as Legends, it's very alarming how close that one is coming to us. But hey, if you've worked in game development before, please let me know if I'm in the wrong on this and vouch for them. Let me know if 6 months is more than enough time for solid game development on such a high quality game. I'm sure it is, I'm sure it's plenty of time, but is it enough time? That's what I really want to know. Y'all tell me. Moving along with the recap, the past couple of months, the Pokemon Company has been very dark on these topics. I've noticed that they will literally post and tweet about literally anything else other than those games. So naturally, with the release date on my mind this last month, I was like, oh, hey, E3's right around the corner, and these games are coming up very soon. So, with the Nintendo Treehouse Live, there's no way they won't touch up on some of the new content that's coming to these games. Pokemon is Nintendo exclusive after all, so they've got to have something for us at E3. So naturally, I became content. I was pretty much just waiting for all this news to drop so that we could cover everything for the next couple of months until these games come out. Talk about what was good, talk about what was bad, talk about what could be fixed within the next couple of months, whatever. Just talk about whatever they decide to show us at E3. Right from the beginning of Nintendo's E3 Direct, they said that they would be covering and talking about all of the games that's releasing within this next year. So naturally I figured, oh okay, well at the very least, they're most likely to talk about Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. That game is very close, there's a lot to cover, they have to talk about that, right? I came out of that direct more than alarmed that we got absolutely nothing from the Pokemon Company. Nothing. Pokemon, one of the biggest franchises on planet Earth under Nintendo, with a multitude of games coming out within the next year, had nothing to show at E3. Can y'all calculate that with me for a second? If there was ever a prime time to talk about big games coming out within the upcoming year, it's definitely at E3. But we got nothing but absolute radio silence from them. So what the hell is going on there? Again, you're gonna hear me say this a lot, but under normal circumstances, that's totally fine. Them not saying a word regarding any updates to either of these games means that they are probably very focused and working pretty damn hard on these games right now. Okay, fine, y'all probably have a mountain of work to do on these games. Totally fine, get to work, do what you gotta do. But here's where my big question comes in. If you guys were confident enough to give us the release dates and pre-orders, why do you not have enough confidence to show us progress updates on the games so far? Games that we are set to pay for and play within the year. That does not give me a huge vote of confidence. I have to sit here and believe that if you guys didn't have anything to show or say at all for the last 4 months, that means that the game is nowhere near ready yet. However, if the games aren't anywhere near ready yet or ready to show, why do we have a finish line already? When y'all start baking a cake for your friend's birthday, do you guys set a timer on yourself to see how fast you can get the cake finished? And then the timer goes off and the cake is nowhere near done or ready. What are you gonna do? Give your friend a crappy unfinished cake? You know what everybody's gonna ask you, right? Why the hell did you set a timer for yourself when a cake needs time to bake? I'm super sorry about that, guys. I was spending most of that time reading up on the instructions to make sure I did it in the right order. Okay, cool, that's fine and dandy. That still doesn't answer my question. If you're going to actually go ahead and bake the cake, read the instructions, read them thoroughly, more than 3 times if you need to, and then give yourself the time and room that you need to work on it. Don't bake the cake a day beforehand, last minute, and go like, it's fine if there's a couple bacon crumbs in there, right? Should be fine. This goes for any craft that you're trying to get into. You need time and room to make mistakes and fix them. There is absolutely no reason for you to wait so long and then give yourself absolutely no time and room to work on something when you have time and resources on your side. There's just no reason for that to happen. You're setting yourself up for failure for no reason. You are giving yourself unreasonable expectations and then delivering decent instead of good, great, or amazing for no reason. I know I've said that a lot, I'm kind of a broken record right now, but you get what I'm getting at. So circling back to it, these games are already looking rushed, and that's kind of unfortunate considering that we already, or at the very least, mostly have a decent idea of how long these games have been in development for, considering that we only recently got the finished final version of DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield. We know for an absolute fact that there had to be people working on the DLC, which means that Game Freak was not working with the whole team yet. So even if development did start a tidbit earlier than we're probably thinking, they did not have full hands on deck yet. There's just no way. So now here we are 4 months in, post E3, with almost no information besides the existence of the games and the release dates. That's it. So long story short, beforehand, I was mildly concerned about the state of the games. Now I am critically concerned. If there was something that we definitely should have seen, it was Pokemon Legends at the Nintendo Treehouse. Because fun fact, there were Nintendo Treehouse presentation videos talking about games that were not at all mentioned in the initial direct. Or at the very least, they showed a little bit of No More Heroes 3. But who's to say they couldn't do that for Pokemon 2? As you can tell, I'm pretty much at my limit when it comes to talking about this because good lord is it alarming that they didn't show anything. Very concerning. So, where exactly is the silver lining within all this? For one, at the very least, they're clearly working hard on these games. Them not showing anything means that they are mostly focused on development and not willing to show us progress yet because clearly they don't think it looks good enough yet. Again, part of that is very concerning, but the other half is like, okay, they're working to make it better. Hopefully when we do see it, it looks a lot better than its initial reveal. Mostly referring to Legends. I don't have a lot of hope for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl at this point. That's not changing. And lastly, like I mentioned in a previous video, or possibly in a couple of videos before this one, a delay is still very, very, very possible. Again, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, we're getting that in November, no doubt about it, whatever. But Legends, on the other hand, that one might take a little bit of time before they decide to put that one back in the oven for a little bit longer till we finally get that, maybe more so in the middle of 2022. But we'll have to see how that one plays out. Do I believe a delay will happen? No. It's possible? Yeah, but do I believe it's gonna happen? I'll be quite frank with y'all, no. No, I don't. So I guess you could see exactly where I'm sitting with when it comes to all this. God. So that just about covers all of my thoughts regarding Pokemon not being at E3 whatsoever. I will be completely honest with you guys. On the highest key, as a new PokeTuber that can only end up in the algorithm through Pokemon speculation stuff, it is a tad aggravating that it's been this quiet on this, you know? Most games give us a lot more to speculate on and think about going forward, but Pokemon is always generally the same except for Legends, which gave us really nothing to talk about with that. And I feel really bad because I want to give you guys more fun content and things to discuss, but when it's this dry, it can get a little rough to come up with content sometimes, you know? I'm only human. It doesn't mean that I'm not constantly going to keep coming up with stuff for you guys to discuss and talk about regarding just Pokemon in general or the upcoming games. Just know that it is a little bit of a struggle sometimes, especially right now when it is this dry with Pokemon. But hey, maybe there's a Pokemon Present on the way very soon, who knows? Again, my uncle doesn't work at Nintendo. For all I know, they could drop a Pokemon Presents announcement tomorrow morning at 6 on the dot, and this video may get completely dropped. I really do hope that happens because that would make a lot more sense to have a presentation directly focused on Pokemon stuff so that they could talk about everything that they need to cover within that video instead of spreading it thin because E3 has other things to talk about. The only reason I don't really see that happening anytime soon is because they recently just dropped Pokemon Unite news, most specifically the release date, I believe, which is next month. And if we were to get some kind of Pokemon Presents, I feel like news like that would have been placed in there. So I don't see that happening anytime soon, so also alarming, but we'll talk about that another day. So with that, that just about wraps up all of my thoughts regarding everything Pokemon related at the moment. So I'm gonna hand over the mic to y'all. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm being absolutely overdramatic? We'll probably get some big Pokemon news soon and everything's gonna be hunky-dory? Or am I completely in the right and they're not talking about the game because it's nowhere near finished and we're in for a tragedy of a game? Let me know what y'all think. And also, to throw a little bit of sprinkle on the side there, why don't you guys tell me what you guys want me to talk about for these next few months while we're waiting on some kind of news? I'm down to talk about more Pokemon stuff, and maybe there's some stuff that I haven't covered regarding future games or mechanics or things like that. I know you guys like to hear opinions like that because you're here. And that's all that I talk about, so do not hesitate to tell me what you guys want to hear me talk about for the upcoming months while we wait for these games to come out. I always love to hear your guys' opinions, so please do not hesitate to leave them for me down below. We might have some fun things to talk about these next couple of months while we're waiting. But with that, it looks about skedaddle o'clock, so I'm gonna go ahead and do just that. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like and a comment and subscribe for more content just like this if you haven't already. And with that, I'm out. Thank you again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!